What's up, everyone? Welcome to the September 16th edition of FanDuel Tournament Plays presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, click the link below to claim up to a $100 first match deposit bonus when you sign up and make a deposit at PrizePicks. We have a 14-game MLB slate tonight. As usual, we're going to take a look at three of the top tournament stacks and three of the top tournament pitchers using the top stacks tool and the top pitchers tool on the Stokastic.com website. Starting with the top stacks, number 3, the Chicago White Sox are taking on Matt Manning tonight in Detroit. Manning is a former top prospect who really hasn't put it together yet at the major league level so far this year in a relatively small sample, just an 18.5% strikeout percentage and 4.31 xFIP. The White Sox active roster has a 104 WRC plus, just a 136 ISO, but there are a lot of hitters in this lineup that have had power in the past. It hasn't really been there this year, but still a pretty good matchup against Manning. They're only projected for about 3% ownership with a 5% chance of being the top scoring stack and a 5% chance of being the top value stack. Number 2, the Seattle Mariners taking on Michael Lorenzen tonight in Anaheim. The Mariners are projected for 6% ownership with a 7% chance of being the top scoring stack and a 7% chance of being the top value stack. Lorenzen has only struck out 17.5% of hitters with a 4.53 xFIP this season. The Mariners' active roster has a 110 WRC plus and 165 ISO, and they get a nice positive park shift going into Anaheim as well. And number 1, the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Cincinnati Reds tonight in St. Louis. It essentially amounts to a bullpen game for the Reds. The Cardinals are projected for 4% ownership with an 8% chance of being the top scoring stack and a 2% chance of being the top value. They have a 122 WRC plus and 181 ISO on their active roster. Now, before we take a look at the top 3 tournament pitchers, we do have a new promo code for viewers of these videos. That promo code is AdamMLB. You can see it written at the top of the screen. Use it and get 50% off Stokastic Plus weekly. This offer is available for new users only, but if you haven't already signed up, take advantage. You'll get access to behind the paywall data, including the top stacks tool and the top pitchers tool that I mentioned in these videos. So again, that's promo code AdamMLB. Use it and get 50% off Stokastic Plus weekly. Now looking at the top 3 tournament pitchers, number 3, Dustin May, $8,300 price tag, taking on the San Francisco Giants tonight in San Francisco, a favorable park for pitchers. May is only projected for 1% ownership with a 5% chance of being the top scoring pitcher and a 6% chance of being the top value pitcher. May has struck out 23.3% of hitters with a 4.6 xFIP in a limited sample this year, but he does have extremely good stuff, and it is likely that he figures it out at the major league level sooner than later. I like getting to him in tournaments at very little ownership. The Giants active roster has a 103 WRC plus and 23.6% strikeout percentage. Number 2, Tristan Mckenzie taking on the Minnesota Twins tonight. Mckenzie is $10,300. He has a 25.1% strikeout percentage and 3.92 xFIP so far this season. The Twins active roster does have a 110 WRC plus and 20.1% strikeout percentage, so it's not a great matchup, but Mckenzie is only projected for 4% ownership with a 5% chance of being the top scoring pitcher. And number 1, Robbie Ray taking on the Angels in Anaheim. Ray is $10,600 and only projected for about 3% ownership with a 6% chance of being the top scoring pitcher. Ray has the second highest strikeout percentage on the slate at 28%. He has a 3.47 xFIP. The Angels active roster has a 108 WRC plus and 23.7% strikeout percentage. We will want to see what lineup they go with because they are a much more difficult strikeout matchup now than they were a month or two ago, but there are still plenty of strikeouts to be had in their typical lineup, and Ray is one of the best strikeout pitchers on the slate. So to recap, the top 3 tournament stacks: number 3, the Chicago White Sox; number 2, the Seattle Mariners; and number 1, the St. Louis Cardinals. And the top 3 tournament pitchers: number 3, Dustin May; number 2, Tristan Mckenzie; and number 1, Robbie Ray.